Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tools with Terry on Thursday. As you can see, I'm wearing my shirt from the auction, which contributed a little bit more money towards our next year's challenge. Well, the profits will anyway. Hope you've all bought one. As you can see, my name is there. So just look at that top corner. Look. See, look. Well, there we are. And all the others who are wearing theirs are about to say hello. They are, of course, the veritable Pete Twisted Trees.
Hi,
Mark,
I don't wear my
Gentleman Woodturner.
Hi, everyone.
Mike Walt of Mike Walt
Hi.
Incorporated. And Josephine, our little songstress from Yorkshire Grit.
Good afternoon.
Welcome aboard, everybody. Today we're doing Bowl
I've got to say
Gouges.
something, Terry.
Go on then.
Me and Mark made a bad mistake on that shirt.
You did, yeah. What was
Everybody's wearing that shirt so far. Our logos are facing the ground.
Yeah, just true.
They're undercut. They're undercut, aren't they?
In fact, to be quite honest, this shirt's so blinking big, long. I'm nearly standing on your logo.
Yeah, well, it was made for hobbits.
So it's only on certain shapes, Pete.
Somebody asked
Certain
yesterday about.
shapes. Others are
Somebody
point
asked-
up.
Somebody asked yesterday about the skeleton motif. I said that's no way to talk about Mike.
Right, there we are then. Okay, I'll put
funny.
these veritables in the background, and today we're
I just-
talking about Bowl Gouges and what you can and cannot. Well, you can do most things with them. And to let you know what we got on the lathe today is that so far we've got a rough little piece of wood, piece of ash, and what you would normally do is grab yourself, because it's in spindle orientation. You've seen this video before. You grab yourself a spindle roughing gouge, and then you'd start to turn with it. So I'm just going to start to rough it out with this, and you may see a few things happen whilst my Joe or somebody can read out who's in the chat. And I'll just
Yes, I must
start
certainly
with
will.
this.
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. We have today, Barry Fisher, Lawrence Bagager,
Oh my, look at that.
Seth from Brickhouse Craftworks,
Oh,
Book
blimey.
Wizardry by Colin.
Oh, that's not good, is it? Doesn't
Todd at
work.
Green Cove Woodworks, Robert Dolman, Chris Dodds,
So, what we do.
Paul Hoyton,
Just
David
make
J.
sure it's tight.
Heath, Woodworm Paul, Copper
So-
Woodturning.
Just interrupting you there. Go on. Last one. Hello, Rex. So what we do, as you can see, the spindle roughing gouge makes a bit of a mess and not much happens. It just jams, bangs. So we use a bowl gouge for this. Hopefully this will be better. And I'll carry on and show you, and I'll explain it in a minute after Joe's finished reading.
We're not far away. We've got Karen Dolman in as well today. And I think we're about there. If I've missed anybody, I do apologise. But welcome.
So everybody, you can see now this bowl gouge is making a better job than a spindle roughing gouge did.
Naz
why
Jabrick's
is
just
that?
joined. And Naz,
I know.
And the reason for that is the shape. I'll pull that spindle roughing gouge in again. You can see the shape of the spindle roughing gouge if I can get it on camera. Okay, there we are, that way. The shape of the gouges are as such. Actually, I've got to take my watch off a minute. You see that? One's a U shape, or almost a parabolic shape. One's just as wide as it is deep, with its straight wings. I'm just going to take my watch off a minute. I forgot to do that.
Mark Pritchard and Jennifer's Craft and Creations have joined.
Hello, Mark.
Good
Hello,
afternoon.
Jennifer. So what happens when you use a bowl gouge on such a rough piece of timber in spindle mode is that the cutting edge travels a long way down before it cuts around the corner. in focus. So it's a long way down the cutting edge before it does. So it actually slices the timber off. So the way to use it is to put your gouge as such, as you would do any other gouge, any other tool actually, on the tool rest, bevel up so that the timber is hitting the bevel before it starts cutting. And then just lift the tool as it starts to cut. And as I say, if you angle the tool, then I don't know if you can see that right. If you angle the tool and lift it, it'll cut along as though it's slicing down through, like so. And it cuts a lot easier. So that's how to use it, but that's one of the ways to get rough wood into shape before you use your spindle tools, i.e. your spindle gouge, which would be difficult to use a spindle gouge on a rough piece of timber like this. If it jams between centers, of course, if it jams, it just spins. If you've got a throw drive in, or if you've got a 4-prong drive, that may not spin, that might fly off.
So the actual cut you're taking there is very similar to effectively a reinforced skew.
It is. And you will get it jamming when you come to hard knots and things. Just tighten the tailstock up and off you go again. And once you've got it to your round shape that you want, of course you can pick up your other tools, skew, chisel, spindle gouge, and then turn what you want. But these are primarily used for bowls. So that's why you would use a bowl gouge on a rough old piece of timber like that.
Now you can
And
see
we'll
the
get rid of
door
that.
marks there because that's not a bevel cut, is it? That's an
No,
unsupported.
that's an unsupported cut. We're just trying to get rid of. We're trying to use the wing to cut the lumps.
Yeah, it's just hogging away.
Just hogging it out.
What type of wood is that?
This is
Terry,
a piece
that
of
you've
ash. It's
ash?
just a piece of ash, a log I found to
That's all
show you
right.
this demonstration. So we'll get rid of that. That's why we'd use that on a rough old piece of timber. Pull this back. I'll show you what the bowl gouge is really used for. If I can grab it with a knockout bar.
So do you want to change camera to the
What one we on now?
side one?
Side one.
Michael
Right.
McEwen's joined us. Good
Hello,
afternoon,
Michael.
Michael.
And
John
John Scarborough's joined.
Scarborough's.
Hello, everybody. Thanks very much for coming up
Hi,
and
Michael.
talking to me today, watching what we're doing and listening to the veritable earworms. Right.
Katie Shed is in. Good afternoon.
Hi, Heidi.
So you'll notice I give that a good slam as it went up. Thing is, make sure your chuck is really tight on the end. That way it'll always come off. If you have it slightly loose, as you're cutting, it jams up and it pulls the threads. It'll pull the threads back towards you. And then you may not be able to get it off easily. Right. I'm good. There we are. Pull this tool rest out of the way. So, this is
That's
a
the
piece.
same worm screw that I use.
Do you use that? Yeah, it's good.
There's got to be something wrong with it then.
Oh, Mr. Walt, could you?
I've got that started. Just plug that in. This is a piece of Iroko, I think, or teak. I think it's Iroko actually. Get it in there. There's a fine thread on this, so it takes a lot to turn it.
Is there a
You know,
benefit?
man's-
Is there a benefit, in your opinion, for the newer turner to use a worm screw or a faceplate?
I would say a faceplate. If you take huge cuts with a worm screw, you're likely to make the screw thread loose, and then you'd panic because it would go off center and you could get problems. If you've got a faceplate, stick a faceplate on. with several screws in. It's safer,
Thank
but
you.
you know, you can use. I mean, I tend to use a worm screw most of the time, only because I'm lazy. I can't bother screw face plating. So there we are. Just see if that's running true flatwise. It is. So, well, just to let you know,
Woodwork learner's joint.
Andy, this is,
Hi, Andy.
what is this?
Andy.
9-inch diameter, 2 3/4 inches in depth. So, bowl gouges. We'll just roughly get the center a minute. Down a bit. Right. Here's our bowl gouge. You see it? Where am I? There I am. There I am. Right. A facing cut. There's several ways to do a facing cut. You could do I'll just put it on overhead a minute. You can do a facing cut by scraping, like so. As you scrape across. Back to that one. As you scrape across, you can see the timber comes down and scrapes away, like so. Not a very good cut for finish or quality because it will tear the grain out. It's better to do a slicing cut where, as you would use it on the outside, use it on the inside, a push cut or a pull cut. It will slice past the timber as so. Show you. Might be a bit low on the tool rest. I just see. No, it's okay. Handle low. A little bit low. Bring it up a bit. Handle low. Just do it slowly so you can see it start.
This is actually my favourite cut.
Oh, and as you bring it across, you can see the little curlings coming off. And of course, if you've got the lathe running slowly in the middle's running slowly. That's running the speed of the spindle, which is at the moment 800 revolutions a minute. Out here, it's probably equivalent to 1500 revolutions a minute. So you start and you pull slowly. Don't go too fast. And as you come out, you can pull faster because it's the rate of feed that you're going over. And you can see how quick it's cutting well out here. Okay. Turn it up slightly. We turn the tool over that way. Start from this end. We can bring it back in. If you get the bevel rubbing, so you want the tool low, you can see the tool is quite low, very low in fact. The bevel's rubbing now against the face, Bevel's also rubbing against the edge of the cut. Okay. And we don't push arms like so. Lean in to get the tool into your side and lean in. And your body leans in as you go. And we slow down, slow the leaning to come into the center. So that's fairly flush now. So we want to create a tenon on this. I'll actually mark the tenon because.
Just want to interject there, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
If the base of the bowl isn't particularly parallel or has got a few bits sticking out of it, the scraping cut is probably the best cut to start with.
Yeah.
Then the pull cut will get it nice and flat. And finally, the push cut will get it flat and smooth. Because that's the best cut you're going to get. So quite often you'll use all three cuts to get the bowl
to get your, yeah. But as I'm this is all going to be waste here. So all of it, including the end of it, because it's a tenon. So I'm just going to mark a tenon on here. I'm just going to put the left hand wing in, mark it so the right hand wing is the same on the other side. We know we got it right. That's where our tenon is going to be.
Benjamin's just joined. Hi, Ben.
Hello, Ben.
And so is the Klondike Craftsman.
Hiya, Ben.
Hello, Lewis.
Hi Ben, hi Lewis.
All right, Lewis.
And
Ben.
Lewis.
Now you will notice that this is rough cut on the outside, not cut round. It's just all the corners have been cut off to make it as much as I could cut it off on the bandsaw. I don't bother to do the outside because I'm coming around as a bowl anyway. So what I'll do, that'll disappear as I turn this away. So we want to make a tenon, but we want to also get rid of this edge first and start working our way in. Handle down low. This edge, okay, the left hand wing, face it towards, as you would do a scraping cut high, drop the handle, bring it over. Actually, it says bring it over. I got the rest in the wrong place.
I reckon that is Iroko by the look of it.
It looks like a Roko, yeah. It's either Roko or teak. Bring it over, start your cut. Not huge, you'd have to take a lot of timber off until you're used to it. I don't know if you can see that. The bevel's facing the way we're going. The bevel's on the angle that we're going at. Handle's low. We're cutting again, look. Don't have to touch it. It's cutting by itself. There's two bevels cut in there, look. Okay. When you get proficient at it, you turn the speed up a little bit. 1500 revs. Take a bigger cut. Remember, we got it on a worm screw.
Greg Alexander's joint.
No, all we need really is just to press down on the tool, and away it goes.
What determines the cut being bigger?
Size of the gouge, really. Size of your wing. I mean, if this wing was if this is an ordinary 45-degree grind, slightly swept back, but not too much. Some people have them the old Ellsworth, is it called? Swept back, you know, a good inch. And on a 3/4 bowl gouge with an inch of bevel on it, providing the timber's really secure, you can take a 3/4 inch cut. I mean, this is a 1/2 inch bevel. So if I put it fully on the bevel, that's a 1/2 inch bevel. I'll overcompensate. I'll put it more than I need. All right. So it's more than a 1/2 inch now. All right. So that will cut it, but it will start to fur out at the edges. But it will still cut it okay. Okay. Rate of feed
equals do the bowl
thin.
gouges go to them?
You can get 1 inch bowl gouges.
Oh, you can get 1 inch easily, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Lovely.
I think Glenn's got a couple of 3/4 inch bowl gouges.
Yeah, I think he has.
Yeah, I seem to have more than one.
As you can see, you probably can't see my body's moving, not my arms. What you don't want is you don't want to be doing this because you can't control it. Once it's locked in, it doesn't have to be. This hand does nothing really except just keep it to the tool rest. You can put your thumb on it. You can. I mean, if the bowl was swinging out this way, I'd hold it like so. Do it. It's basically to keep it down from moving up or down or moving. It won't move. It won't move up while it's being cut. As I show you. All right, got the cut there. Look. That can't move up now unless I lift up the back of the tool. It won't come off. It'll just cut by itself. Okay, so you just hold the control there, bring it round. I'm a fair way off the tool, off the work with the tool rest over spring there a bit better.
I'm going to be claiming some of Glenn's tools, I've decided.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Have you told Glenn this yet?
No.
You don't want a 3/4 inch bowl gouge on your lathe.
Say that again, sorry?
You don't want a 3/4 inch bowl gouge on your lathe.
Okay.
No, you don't.
Excuse me.
That's the other thing. If you're going to use a gouge with a big cut, you really need a powerful motor to turn it.
Got it.
Yes, because small motors will you know, they just won't work.
They'll
Can't
just
handle
bog
it.
down.
So we'll bring this around.
You still with us, Mike?
I certainly am. I'm just listening to the sages talking about turning bowls.
And he's muted because his heater's on.
Ah, right, okay.
Exactly. That's the reason.
Hold on, Mike. Okay, so we'll turn the tool the other way now. We'll just go in to our depth of our tenon, which is about 6 mil.
Malcolm Douglas is in the chat. Good afternoon, Malcolm.
Hi,
Hi,
Malcolm.
Malcolm.
41 watching, Terry.
Well done. Thank you very much from Breda. No, I'm going to have to lift this tool a bit higher because it's hitting the lathe bed down there. So I'm not on the bevel of the tool now, so it's starting. You can see it's starting not to catch, but it's not rubbing properly. Now I've got it over the lathe bed. I can actually get it to turn. Just bring it around. Right.
I think the bowl gouge is probably the most versatile tool we have.
Yeah, it is.
A 3/8 bowl gouge, you can do so much with it.
So much with it.
You can.
You can use it on spindle work as well, so you know.
You can
Does
turn
everything.
massive bowls with a 3/8, but you've just got
Yeah.
to be a little bit slower and lighter cuts on the bigger
Yeah.
bowls. You know.
Yeah.
One thing I was told, and it works quite well, Terry, where if you haven't got a swiveling headstock, and you have the problem you've had there, and you can't make the handle any shorter, if you just, for that first cut, just raise the tool rest.
Raise the tool rest, yeah, we can do that. We'll try that,
Then
let's see.
That
We'll raise the tool rest, and we'll get
then you can put it down again when you turn the
new
cut off, when
gouge.
you get free.
That gouge is too long as well. I'll use a smaller one. Now that one's now clear of the, just clear of the lathe bed, but I'm way above center, as Mike says. Normally I would just turn the headstock, but we can start this cut. Keeping it down, you can see the shavings coming off nice. That I'm stuck on the lathe bed now. Hang on. Drop it down a bit. And now we can't. This, I think that gauge might have been a bit blunt as well now. So now we can change to, well, this is a 1/2 inch one now, but we can now start on there. We can drop the tool right down, pick up the cut again, hopefully. Take lighter cuts.
Little angel hair shavings.
Just move myself slightly. Here we go.
Now what you're getting here is a fully supported bevel rubbing push cut as a finishing cut.
I'm not going too fast because I want this to polish up as I go as best we can. Just missed a bit there. There we go. Always, of course, thinking of the shape I want as well as I go around. I'm almost at the end now. I'm not going to go straight off the end like so, because that will cause tear out there. Although it's probably going to be cut away, it might take a chunk a fair way back. So just going to scrape that back there, chamfer that edge slightly till we get to the other side of it. Okay, so let's have a look at that.
It's one of my favourite shapes. That.
Yeah,
that's classic shape bowl.
There are a few. Yeah, there are a few high spots on it, but I'm not gonna try and get them off with that. I'll just you can scrape that off by putting the wing down and just it's going to be sanded anyway. Scrape off that little tiny ridge I had there.
Can you show a shear scrape? Phew. Yeah. Ouch.
Right. While I'm thinking about it, before I do, I'll just take that tenon to the right shape. At the moment, it's just a rough cut with a round in the corner. So I'm just going to grab a skew chisel and make it into a straight face.
Seth at Brickhouse Craftworks says he typically uses a 40/40 grind on most of his gouges.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah,
I use a
40/40.
40/40 quite frequently, and the presentation is pretty much horizontal, so it avoids that problem of catching the lathe bed.
Right, if I bring this around this way now, raise the tool rest a bit. I'm going to shear cut with this one. Basically, like I suppose I could do it with this, with the skew. Basically, coming around like that. Only we'd be going that way. We're using the bowl gouge to do it. This edge is hopefully going to sit on there like that with the flutes closed, almost over. Okay, so you're just using the bottom wing, then you bring it around, and so as long as the angle of this flute or the angle across the top of the chisel is less than 90 degrees to the timber. So if I can show you that on the overhead, if we're talking, that is now more, that angle there, that angle there is more than 90 degrees. Okay, you bring it around so the flutes are closing. That angle there now is what, 40 degrees?
Yeah.
From the so that's the angle that my bottom wing would be cutting at, 40 degrees. Okay, which is a 40/40 grind even on the top. If you then lower the handle, go back to that one, handle right down, so just, you're not actually cutting on the tip is not touching the tool, it's sitting right down. You wind it around so that this flute is almost cutting like that, basically. You just bring it off. It should cut it very, very nicely. Oops, get it right. As you see, it's like dust, but it's actually, you'll probably see the shavings coming off. You may be able to.
Yeah, you can see them.
That's cutting like a skew chisel with the left hand wing of the gouge. Don't know if I could slow it down and show you. Just slow it down a bit. Try that. Okay. The reason you may not see the shavings so well is because, of course, they're coming off the skew chisel, off the wing, and they're actually then going straight down. You may be able to see that coming off now. And of course, rate of progress is the same as going slow. You do it slower. If you do it faster, 1800 revs, we can go faster. Get the angle right, and away we go. Making the bow smaller as we go. But whatever. Just a demonstration today. That wing is now slicing that off. Okay. That's how you do it. Although I've got a tool mark there, so I will just take that bit out. It's because I started halfway down.
That's a lovely bit of wood, Terry. I'm sure that's Iroko.
I think it is, Mike. Yeah, it's either Iroko or
teak.
Or teak, but it looks like Iroko now. Now I'll cut it.
I'm doubtful it's actually Iroko because Mark says it is.
Oh, that's true. It could
very
be.
funny.
Yeah.
Very, very funny. Very funny.
Most probably
You're a
pine.
funny man.
I think it's
Wait, what?
pine, actually.
You're all wrong. Ben's in the chat, so therefore it's walnut.
Oh, it's walnut.
Walnut.
Yeah, walnut. Down
Yeah.
to walnut. Sorry, mate. Just going to switch on my extractor system. I'll give this a quick, although it is a demonstration, seeing it's in a bowl shape, I'll give it a quick sand up. Just so I get Joe to sing, to upset everybody.
You're a cruel man, Terry, but
Yeah.
That's not very nice.
It's true, though.
Ugh.
you're competing for that third place.
Yeah. I think you got that one, Pete. I think this battery's going to go in a minute. Never mind. Just for speed. That's right. Work that off. 120. When you're using the Bowl Gouge, don't be afraid to take the cut. Don't try and do it all tentatively because you'll be worried about, oh, will I get a catch? Use firm pressure. Clamp it to your side. Do the cut. Don't worry about it. If you get a catch, you get a catch. Who cares?
Nice one, Andy.
What's he saying
Go on,
now?
Mark. Go on, Mark.
Andy's the bravest. Andy's the bravest one. He only lives a few miles away from Joe.
Go on.
He does.
Tell
We're going to hear her then.
He said, "I've been told that Joe's singing is great. The local deaf society said so."
Local deaf society. I think Andy's got a point there or something.
Well,
He makes a good point.
if any of you lot can do better, go
Oh,
for it.
don't do that.
We'll
have 64 earworms next week.
In the hills. No, you're right, Joe.
Thank you for your efforts, Mike, but it didn't work.
Don't
Thank you
call
for your
us,
efforts,
we'll
Mike.
call
It
you.
didn't work. Yeah. 240, last one. There we are. Right.
I just got to deserve my post for 2 minutes.
Oh, that's
I'm
because
sure
Joe's going to sing in a second. I know.
Everybody's going to be absolutely devastated. We'll see you in a minute.
That's because Joe's going to sing.
Seth asks a question here, Terry.
It's-
Does Sirocco have the same silica content that is typical of teak?
It does. And that's why it turns absolutely beautiful, just like teak. In fact, sometimes it's difficult to tell the difference. And I thought this was teak, but it's got its own oil, just like teak oil. But it is Iroko now, I can see. But yes, it does. It's amazing. Right, sanded sealer. It's like turning this stuff. It's almost like turning something that is pre-lubricated. So it's really nice. I just happened to have a friend who was at a joinery shop back in, I don't know, 1990 something, and he cleared the shop out because he had a huge job on, a massive job where he needed all the racks. So he said to me, "Can you clear these out? Anything you want, you can." I had a big van and trailer at the time. You can have what you want, or you can ditch it for me, and I won't want any payment for any of it. And I said, "Yep, I'll do that." So that's what I did. And I just happened to have a supply of timber for the last 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is. And it's getting low now, mine. I've got huge amounts left now, but so am I. I'm getting old, and
See, when you're as
whatever
old
I
as the
got may
hills, then
last.
you get people give you timber for free.
That's it. They do. They do. Anybody wants to get rid of some of their timber, just call me, PM me, Terry Bray on Thinterweb, and I'll happily take it off you. Right, let that dry for a sec. So I hope that was enlightened you on the use of a bowl gouge on the outside of a bowl. That's starting to dry. Nearly there.
Certainly did.
Two things with, well, pretty much any tool actually, but the bowl gouge in particular, you said don't be too gentle with it, and you're right. As long as your bevel is pointing the right way at the start of the cut, and you get that shaving just holding the edge of the tool to the timber, then it will go. When you skip out of that and you break out that shaving, then it starts to hop around on the surface and you get a rough finish.
Yeah. And like I say, be firm with it. You don't have to. Your right hand does absolutely nothing except steady the tool. All the controls done from your your left hand on the thing. So, and as I can't bend my left wrist, it's difficult sometimes. So I just put my fingers on the top. That's all it's got to do. Just right. We'll put some of this on. This will make Joe feel elated now because she can get to sing.
I can. Roy the boy has joined us, and so has Brian at Woodturning.
Hello, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Thanks for welshing out on today and leaving me.
Afternoon.
Our first day
just
back.
Into his Terry, good luck. God, he knows he needs it.
Yeah. Welched out, he did. Just left me. I got home from holiday yesterday, and I find I have to do a live today.
Oh, we've covered two of yours for you.
You did. I did appreciate that.
I did consider covering it, but apparently I can't get to internet until September.
But I thought it'd be nice if you could do it today, because exhausted from that long drive yesterday. But I don't mind.
If he was any sort of friend, he would have done that, Terry.
Yeah, it does. Yes, I agree. Okay, so now we got the Yorkshire grit. We won't turn it too fast. Just about 300 there, because I don't want to. I put quite a bit on. I don't want to just spin in my face. Ready, Joe?
Yeah.
Go.
The hands of your pity can be soft as your face. With light brown Yorkshire gritty.
Like rats leaving a sinking ship.
I'd say nothing. Speechless.
Yeah. You keep quiet, Beckett.
I can turn the speed up a little bit now. Do about 400, 500. I'll just keep sounding this. A couple of 3 minutes is the rule, apparently. So a couple of 3 minutes it'll be. Sorry to bore all you, but sounding is sounding.
And you've definitely got 3 minutes of wood left, so that's good.
I've got 3 minutes of wood left, unlike somebody I know, no names mentioned. I'll point you whistle, Mark Beckett.
What?
I can feel that's broken down now into a very fine, shiny feeling on your fingers. If you know what a shiny feeling is, it's like very, 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 very fine. You don't feel any roughness at all now. So now we'll change it over, speed it up, get it to burnish. This is not a polish, by the way, but it does polish nice, just for argument's sake, if you had nothing else. And we keep going until we can get rid of it. Thing I like about this is once I've reached 240 grit, the actual dust starts to get a bit iffy. I don't wear a dust mask and all the rest of it, which I do. Can't do it when I'm demonstrating, but when you get to 500 grit, things like that, 600 grit, it's like so fine the dust, it settles on your eyelashes. With this, of course, you stop when you get to 240. The rest is done with sanding paste. It's lovely.
Andy Woodward Learner's got a question. He said, we have a very old train sleeper. It's black from oil, tar, and other stuff. Will it be suitable for a bowl? Sawn into small pieces, of course.
Not if you've got tar on it. If it's got creosote inside it, I wouldn't use it.
It has creosote, oil, probably 100 years worth of human excrement dumped on it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't turn it.
I would definitely wouldn't turn it.
I wouldn't even turn it at all.
I wouldn't even.
I
wouldn't even have it given to me. I'd say no, thank you. Unless you're going to use the sleeper as a sleeper in the garden, fill it with soil on one side and a wall on the other. As a wall, that's fine. Okay, so there we are. We've got that. I'll just put some polish on it to make it look neat, and then we'll turn it around and show you what the bowl gouge do to the inside. Remember, of course, you can get bowl gouges from, I think, I'm not sure, is it 6 mil, 8 mil? Quarter inch bowl gouges. I'm not sure if you can go smaller, 6 mil, is it? Yeah. All the way up to 3/4 inch or inch. Specialist ones you can have them made, of course. All right, put a little bit of this Hampshire sheen on it, just to give it a polish, but I'm not spending too much time on it because it's a demonstration about bowl gouges today. Remember, of course, at 3 o'clock today, I think Axminster's on at 3. I know Colin Way said this year he was going to do demonstrations on tools, turning tools. So I may be stealing his thunder, of course. It might be the bowl gouge today, I don't know. But I reckon it'll be the Colin Way skew chisel to start with.
Did we say hello to Andy and to Pat Cummins?
Andy.
No, but we have now. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Andy.
I can't
Pat.
even remember saying hello to Wivey Woodford either.
Good day to you both.
Hello, Wivey.
You never say hello to him, do you?
Hello, Wivey.
Thought you told me you didn't like him.
Oh,
Terry
God.
Bray, stop telling porkies.
I think, Mark, can you use your blocking?
Only joking,
Somebody
Andrew.
called Brian at Woodturning has just joined.
You've been in for about an hour now, Mike.
All right. Yeah,
Oh, is he?
sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so there is the outside of a bowl. People, hope you like it. That's
Beautiful.
a small demonstration of how to
That's gorgeous.
Lovely
whatever
piece
it,
of wood,
turn it.
that.
We'll turn it around and give you a. Actually, what we won't do first, we'll tighten it back up again. I forgot there's not a worm screw in it, so I need to take that off of that.
Yeah.
Lock that up. There we go.
That's one way to build up your muscles.
Yeah, the other way is to switch a lid on in reverse. Just hold the piece. Right, that's that bit. Shouldn't do that though, I'm only joking. I'll leave that in, take that off. Well, this is the Axminster worm screw. It fits into the C jaws of the chuck. So it makes life really easy if you're doing a lot of these. You put them all in, you just take it off and screw each one on, take it off, and then your bowl goes back straight in again to the jaws. Like so. See what that looks like? Running true. Okay. We're now going to dig it out. Right, bowl gouge, 3/8 of an inch for start. Okay, works in reverse really this way. I'll just clean the face up. Just as far enough as we need to go to dig the middle out. Down, same way as we clean the face on the other one. Got the bevel rubbing both ends, and then we go I'll take off that rough coloured. It was the colour on the outside of this Iroko. In fact, there's about 1/4 of an inch on each face, which is almost, well, not almost black, but really dark, but it's rough as anything. As you might be able to see there, it's really rough. You've got to go in 1/4 inch to stop it. Right, so there we are. That's cleaned up the edge. Now, if we want to come back now, all right, handle low, turn the flute. If you can see the flute moving, turn the flute in. So turn it, in other words, close the flute off like that. All right, not totally off, but just start the cut. We're only going to do an edge on this, aren't we? So we can bring that across. Just want to get a nice edge. We got a tiny bit of fur in there, but that'll go up with a rub of the finger there. And that edge is not torn at all. It's a nice cut. So that's basically that edge finished. Just got to determine the width of our bowl. So let's say, I don't know, what are we looking at? 3/8 of an inch there, maybe. So the width of our bowl, just move this tailstock back a bit. Rather than turn the headstock, I'll move this. Take out the center, easier. Okay. Bowl gouge. I'll use a bigger one to show you. Bowl gouge. Right, starting the cut with a bowl gouge. There's your bevel.
It's a question from Tom at Glen Cove. If the bowl was half that size, would you still turn at the same speed?
Yes, you can. You can turn it faster as half the size if you want to. Whatever you're comfortable with. I mean, don't go mad with it. You know, there's no point in going to 3,000 revs when you can do just as good a job as 2 or 1,500. The thing is, that the faster you turn it, yeah, if you're a production turner and you're making 10 bowls an hour, fine. You obviously got to turn them quick. But if you're enjoying yourself, take 3 hours to turn it. Why not? Learn the cuts and then just enjoy the turning. That's what I would suggest. Right, so there's your bevel. Okay. Now you want to start taking the inside of this out. There's our flutes there. We want to start taking the inside out now. So if we turn the chisel, so the bevel is pointing the way we want to go, same as you would do if you were cutting a bead or a cove on a spindle. That's where you want to start. If you start there, odds are, actual fact, I'll just demonstrate that. I'll turn it down a bit. I'll start it here. We want to start there. We want to go in now there.
Can you change the camera, sorry?
Sorry.
Please.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Lovely.
We want to go in. We want to go in here now. But we're not starting with the bevel there. We're starting with the bevel here. We get escape back, look, automatically, because there's no support for the bevel. We start there. There is no bevel to grip as it runs back. So you start there and you just start the cut. It's already started. When you start the cut, then the bevel starts to rub. Obviously, I'll do it on the outside, my clean edge. Turn it a bit. Start there. Okay, bevel pointing the way we want to go. Start the cut. As soon as you start going in, you can bring the bevel now to where you want to go. In our case, we want to go that way. Okay. Later on, we're going to go in and around, but at the moment, we want to go that way. So we bring the angle the bevel to go the way we want. We've started the cut. Turn the chisel back. Okay. We're going to see that better. I'll do it that way. So I can hold it actually on there. Can't bend this wrist, so it's going to be a bit of a problem. But right, we've got the bevel on there. You see the ruler? I'll turn the chisel back now. Okay. That's where we want to be.
Stuart Ingerell's just joined.
Not touching the chisel, look. Just holding it at the rear. In goes the chisel. All right, start it again. We've got our cut. Bevel's now rubbing. Turn the chisel back. We can take our hand off it, really. The actual work coming down on it is keeping it on the tool rest. Both bevels are rubbing. And it goes.
If
Okay.
you're having trouble getting the chisel started like that, then nobody will know when you finish if you cheat and use a parting tool to make a little
to create the shoulder. Yeah.
Just going to suggest that. As such, look, we'll show you. I can't come much further out, but we'll put our parting tool in. You can see now there's a ridge,
little step.
a little step. We can now put our tool on there. We use two hands, right, just to say. Basically, the bevel hits our outer edge, right? Turn the chisel. Oops. Turn the chisel, and away it goes. And then you just bring it around to where you want it to go. I did knock that edge actually, so I'll clean that up.
And just to add, actually, you can make a series of grooves as well from the center to the outside.
Yeah.
Before you start, it's just an additive for the newer turner. You can do that, and that gives you bevel support, stops it going back.
Yeah.
And that
So
isn't just beginners. Nick Hagar does that all the time.
Yeah. So do I sometimes, no problem. Right, we'll start from the middle and work out a bit, but that was to show you how to start the cut there. This is still rough, okay? We'll just take the middle out a bit. You can almost dictate your shape. Once you get started, you can go in, bring it back out, go back in again. It will follow the line that you put that bevel on. Okay? Now you can see that is 3 OG shapes. It's not a problem. It'll follow the line you want, as long as that bevel's rubbing. That's actually
yeah.
Do it again, like that. Just holding the chisel with finger, thumb on the top. Right, in, out, in, out. Not moving my hands. I'm actually moving my body.
This is a new trademark from Terry. The internal OG bowl.
OG bowl.
Internal OG bowl.
Obi-Wan come bulgy. Okay.
It's an interesting shape, but you don't want to be sanding that at the end of the day.
No, you don't know.
Be good for a restaurant, actually, for portions of soup, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Now, you hear these people say, well, why'd you go up before you go down to the center? Well, the reason for that is when you start the cut there, you've got this bevel is rubbing, okay? There's nothing else you could do. You can get this bevel rubbing as well if you turn the headstock, and you can be right down there rubbing the bevel there. So you got 2 bevels rubbing there, all right? But once you come in you come in normally like that, okay, and you got the bevel rubbing at the back. If you lift the chisel, put the handle of the chisel down and lift it up, also the right bevel is rubbing as well. So now you've got control over it. I'm just about to hit the lathe bed actually, but you've got 2 bevels rubbing now. But of course I'm up above center. So then when you get there, you have to come back down to your center. So you got to lift the handle at the back to get back to where you're going. So that gives you 2 bevel support, especially on a big bowl. If you were way out on a big bowl, you know, this size, then you go up, you have 2 bevels rubbing, nice cuts, and bring it back down again to the center to finish. This is only sort of, I suppose, 7 or 8 inches now. So.
Roy's got a question. He said, I want to use some of the wax from my bees as a polish.
Yeah.
Do I need to mix anything with it?
I would think maybe shellac or something.
Mineral oil.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be very soft, wouldn't it?
Maybe some carnauba.
Yeah, it would be very, very soft, so it may not keep a shine for very long. That's all.
No, beeswax is a very low melting point, so it will pick up fingerprints just from the heat of your hand. It's not a very great polish, really.
Getting a bit far over the tool rest now. So that's your factor. Let's move it in a bit. Right, so that's that. I'll use a smaller one. This is my favourite one. This is a little tiny. Well, you see it's my favourite. There's not much left of it. 3/8 bowl gouge. I think it's sharp on the right-hand wing because I haven't used that yet. Sharp enough, I think. Okay, so now we've got our tool is as low as I can to the bed. I can't get it any lower, so I'll have to swing the bevel pointing the way we want to go. Tool down low. All right. Just start the cut. Both bevels rubbing now. I'm looking now on the outside of the bowl and the inside of the bowl. Full width. Unfortunately, I'm now pulling the full width, so I'll stop that of the bevel, which is quite a big cut. Don't want to be taking that much. Swinging around.
It's quite common when you get to that transition to need to step it a bit.
Yeah. And we're getting a little bit thin.
Yeah, Todd, I
so.
think there was a bit of an internet glitch there. We got a bit blocky on the video.
Take this in.
One thing I think worth mentioning is when you're coming down the bowl, when you've got that unturned block in the middle, always ensure that your right wing has not come into contact with it. Always stop a little bit short, otherwise you'll get a nice catch otherwise.
Yeah, beautiful catch.
Get a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Right, so we're quite thin now. I won't be going a huge amount further in with this. However, what I will show you is on big bowls, okay, deep bowls, I mean, you'll be bringing your tool down, and as you come around, okay, you'll find that you can't keep the bevel on because you're hitting this edge, all right? So the bevel will lift off. So you then have to lift the chisel off and slide along with the bevel not supporting the cut, which makes it rough. Airs out, you can get a catch. So what the English did back in, I don't know, 1400s or whatever, or 1800s, they ground the English grind, okay, which is almost like a spindle roughing gouge, straight across. Got two sharp wings there, look. But it is a gouge, of course. Okay, I'll get it in focus. And that now has a 60 or more angle on it. So now when that hits the bottom of the bowl, the angle is there, way off. But the bevel is now supported still. Supporting. So now you then pick up the cut and then bring it around the bottom of the bowl, and you don't hit the bowl, and you go straight across with the bevel cutting. I'll just demonstrate that.
Yeah, this grind is the English grind, also called the traditional grind, and more recently, mostly from America, a bottom feeder grind.
Now that bevel is supporting the cut now, that. And of course, I'm slowing down as I go because the lathe is slower in the middle than it is on the edges. We're only doing like 1500 revs. We slow it down. The bevel is still supporting it. Hopefully, we should get a nice cut at the end.
I think that's one of the nicest tools to use for a finishing cut. I did it on.
I don't know if you can see that, but
it gives a beautiful finish.
There's no tear out. There's nothing.
Yeah.
A little bit on the edge here, actually, but it was starting to chatter because it's getting a bit thin now. not too thin that it won't. I don't really want to go down it again because that's only about a quarter of an inch or less. So there we are. That's how to get the bottom. The bottom is perfect now because of that extra grind, whereas I didn't have to run the tool across. I'll just see if I can clean that edge up on the outside. Which one shall I use for that? This one. This 3/8 bow gouge. I don't know that I'll get a good cut now because of the thinness of it.
Of course, if you're not doing a demo before you do this cut, you go to the sharpener and make sure that your edge is perfect.
Yeah. I'm trying to pick the best, sharpest wing I've got, but
Yeah, rules need to be bent for demos.
Ben, you still need the pointy bit on the bottom feeder to be able to pick up a cut.
then we'll just put this bottom feeder in again, as they call it, or traditional English grind.
Actually, it's a good point that Ben made there, actually, because I've got a 65 bottom feeder, as we call it, but I have got slightly swept-back wings, and it just nullifies that very sharp edge, especially for the new. You know, it still does the job.
That's right. Well,
65 bevel.
We'll find the old do the measure tape. There is. You can see, Mike. This is slightly swept back. Look.
Down a bit.
Down a bit.
Down a bit, mate. Down a bit.
Down.
Just lower your hand.
Down,
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 Terry.
down, going down.
That's
That's
it.
it. Yeah.
And turn it that way a bit. You see it slightly swept back. Look.
Yes. Yeah.
Not much.
Got a good tip from Jeff Horning a while back. If you've got a new gouge and you lay it flat on your sharpening system on the bevel top and just lift it, it'll just blunt off those corners.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just slightly round them off, and that can help quite a lot sometimes.
Just enough to stop you getting. Yeah. Just stop you getting.
We're not talking about a lot. We're talking about just a very slight softening of the point.
Yeah, good idea. Right. I think that's all I can do with that now. Not much material left on it. So we're going to sand this up. Just for Joe's sake.
Royce the boy is now watching on a 55-inch TV, and your badge is huge.
Unlike Terry.
Hello, Roy. Hello, Roy. Big.
Christ.
My badge, Roy. Just to let you look, Roy. That frightened you, didn't it?
He wasn't the only one.
Oh, well, yeah.
It wasn't just the badge that was frightening, Terry, I assure you.
Remember, I'm watching you on a 42-inch monitor now.
Are you? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
That was disturbing.
Yeah, I started on a 24-inch and down to a 2-inch.
Just disturbing for me to know you are. Right. We just go up through the grits, so I just want to make a project out of it. Now now I've used it, so not that I wanted another bowl, but never mind.
Not another bowl.
That's my wife, I say. Not another bowl. How many of those do you need?
It's a lovely bowl.
Not the point, Joe. How many there is in the house?
Yeah, but you just need to find a use for it.
Yeah, I'll find a use.
Well, I'm in the kitchen today. I'm going to make another coffee. Anybody else want one?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Please.
please.
Yes, please, Pete. Tea for me. I don't like coffee much.
I'm not making tea. That's hard work.
it is.
Next one,
Ivy
last
says,
one.
Thanks, Terry. The dog has only just come out from behind the sofa from the singing.
Oh, this is going to do it then. Joe's going to sing again, yeah, Andrew. So, you know.
Woodwork Learn says the top half of the TV was still empty, though. Perfect.
He's off my Christmas card list.
Thought it was a split screen.
Split screen. Right. Where are we? A bit there, a bit there, a bit there.
The Yorkshire Grit is in. Good afternoon.
Hello, Glenn.
Hi, Glenn.
Hello, Glee.
Just in time.
The old chair wrecker.
Chair
Chair
wrecker.
wrecker.
Mike knows something we don't. Take it.
Well, I don't want to say too much in public. It could
Okay.
damage. It could damage Glyn's already ruined reputation. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't give us half a story. You can't do that.
Okay. Well, basically, it was. Well, we just sat down on the patio, and one of the chairs that it's been in my family for about 100 years, I suppose.
Yeah.
Glyn sat
Sort
on
of an
it, and it
heirloom, yeah.
promptly decided to break
Destroy
it.
it. Oh,
And it
Linux.
collapsed.
Ah,
Well, that's good. That means you can get a nice new one now.
You can hear him in
It
the
was like it was like slow motion. It was like slow motion. He
Shit.
just it just started to collapse. He started to tilt, and then he fell up against the wall, scraped all his arm. There was blood
No.
everywhere. Even when we went to the Indian for a curry later that evening,
Mhm.
he's sitting there with his elbows on the table. He took his elbows off, and there's blood stain on the tablecloth in the restaurant. But there you go.
oh dear.
Just a thought, though,
No.
Mike. You didn't actually saw through the legs or something, so you knew Glenn was going to sit on it.
No comment.
Just checking, you know.
With the face.
Absolutely no comment there. Terry.
Okay.
And there's no saving the chair.
No, the chair is now.
Not
been
after
burned.
Glenn's got on it, surely.
There's no way. It's lucky it didn't stab him. It splintered. It was like an Indian spear.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Right, that's
lucky.
dry now. That's dry now. We're going to put some of this on now. Again.
Oh,
Josephine
God.
is going to sing again. Andy, leave the room.
Hit the mute button, people.
In the mute button. Battersea Dog Zone closed down. Get some of this.
Tell you what, Terry, with this singing, you're really spoiling us.
Yeah.
I am. Well, Joe
You're
likes to sing.
sarcastic, so
I mean,
Joe likes to
really
sing.
spoiling us.
And we all like Joe singing too, don't we? Oh,
Different type of spoil, Mark. By the way, you can,
going, mate. You've
people
started.
buy
Go on.
products.
No,
People
no,
buy
no.
product savers for these. You know, there's little things that fit in there, save the product. Oh, I got one for free. Look, it comes with the top. It's my
Call
product
it
saver.
lid.
Oh, the lid, yeah.
Right. Turn the speed down a bit. I don't want to go as fast as we did, just in case we don't. 250. Started with. Off we go again. Side number 2.
Hands up your pity can be soft as your face.
Duet.
With
With
light
light
brown Yorkshire.
Yorkshire Gritty.
One day they'll do it
Wow.
in
Oh
time.
my
Michael.
goodness.
Oh,
I'll tell you
no.
what. You can tell I got my training in the Treorchy Bill voice.
Were you ever in a choir, Michael?
Yeah, I was actually. Yeah,
Oh, they must have shut the church down.
For
I
long.
used to put the chairs out.
Chairs out. Oh, lovely.
That's a lovely bit of wood. Earlier on,
It is.
somebody said, "Have you taken the advice from Mike on what colour you're going to use on it?"
Yes, I have. And Mike said, "Don't use any colour." Well, what he did say was, "Let me see what it's like when it's finished, and then if it's really bad, we'll colour it." But I don't think it's that bad, do you?
No, I think it's
Beautiful.
rather, considering who's turned it, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, that's right. I can feel the paste in this now. It's just like really, really fine. It's you can feel the coarseness
taping
disappear.
up?
Oh, sorry, that's me. Sorry.
It's Mark. It's Mark. He
No,
don't really
forgive.
care. He just gets on with his own thing. He's not worried about us.
No.
He just does his own thing. Turn the speed up a bit, burnish it off. Get rid of the excess wax. Bearing in mind, of course, Iroko has oil in it. Its own oil, natural oils.
Ben says, Mark, remember the old MySpace web pages that would play songs when you visited people's websites? You should do that with your site, with Joe singing. No, I want people to come back to my website. I want them to visit and feel like it's a happy, safe space,
Yeah.
not somewhere where they're going to be tortured. Sorry, too much?
Well, there's no need for that.
No
That's
need
a
for
bit
that,
over-
Marcus.
No, that was a
Tortured.
bit harsh, Mark. A bit harsh.
Yeah.
Bit harsh? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Not a lot, but just a bit.
Oh, well.
Just
You'll
a
get over
bit
it.
harsh.
Right, everybody, that's it gone. You can see, without putting a finish on it at the moment, that's Yorkshire Gritted. Not too bad, is it?
Looks lovely.
We'll just get a bit of the old. I thought I'd just use the amp machine again, just to polish it up a bit. See, I've actually finished a bowl.
Stuart said, "Was that noise Glyn sneaking up on Joe with some tape?"
I don't think so. If he stopped her singing, that would have been worse than the world, wouldn't it? She's been coming specially for me to sing for me.
I have.
See? She won't worry about you,
Does.
reprobates.
Door 60s in the chat. Good
Hi,
afternoon.
Dor.
Dor.
Thanks for joining us. Sorry it's a bit late if you just come in. But there we go. Nice and gentle with the old cloth.
Roy the boy has just said that he ordered some Yorkshire Grit,
Yeah.
the original and the microfine, and they sent 2 of the microfine. So he
right.
duly rang them up and said, you sent me one too many. How much do you want? And they said, Merry Christmas.
Merry
Normally,
Christmas.
So in other words, you got 3 for the price of 2, whereas
Two.
Glyn's normal sales pitch is 2 for the price of 3.
Yeah. Or send them both back.
Yeah.
Right. That's that bit. I think we're nearly done.
That looks
Turn it off,
superb.
isn't it? Thank you.
I was told to say that.
Yeah, we're
Contractually by. That does actually look really nice.
It does, yeah.
just going to turn the back end off now. I've got time for that. What time is it?
Yeah, we got
Yeah, you
time
got
for a
time.
funnel.
Any time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always got time for a funnel.
Okay. Actually, I didn't turn it too deep, so I didn't want to funnel.
Well, that's a bit worrying.
Looks lovely. So it's only an inch and a half thick.
Hi, all,
Hey?
cannot stay long. This is GP to stop the blood flowing.
I think that might be from his eardrums.
Yeah. I'll just bring Doris up that way. That way. Shale stock back in there. Oh, where am I going now with this? Pick that up off the floor. Right, put a piece of what's the name on there so I don't scratch it. Well, I'm not really worried. Actually, I might use a paper towel because that might leave marks. That may well leave marks there. So
You don't want that. Not with that.
No, because
nice piece.
yeah, these sometimes leave marks, don't they? So, especially the oil in the timber itself.
Sorry about the taping noise. I just had to get a
That's
order
right,
ready.
Mark, don't worry.
Post out.
Don't worry, mate.
A big
Me
gong.
don't worry.
Not a big conk. I haven't put the beard on that one yet, Joe.
Okay.
Stephen the wood dude's in. He said, "Sorry, I was late. What kind of wood is it?"
Hello, Stephen. It's Iroko.
Iroko.
It's flat,
Thought
but
my
it's not
singing was bad.
round, but that'll be okay. Take a tool rest out and stick the smaller one in if I can.
Oh, I'll get this one.
Okay.
Block.
Actual fact, I'm going to wind the tool rest back a bit. It's too close.
Sorry about that. Well, we didn't hear me talking then, did you? No? Good.
Yeah. No.
That's okay. No.
Well, we always hear you talking, Mike. It's whether we can
Yeah,
stick it.
that was
or not.
my boss rang me up. That's all right. I told him, ring me back later. I'm doing something important.
Yeah. So he did.
No, he's just had COVID. He's had COVID. He's just got over COVID.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Ben's
So we can still.
Ben's asking you, Terry.
Yeah.
Would you ever get a vacuum chuck, or do you not do enough to justify one?
I don't do enough really. If I bought it because I was, very financially well off, then I'd buy it for playing with. But I wouldn't buy one. I don't do enough work for it, to be honest.
That's one of the things I intend to get this
You
year.
know.
Vacuum chuck.
Okay,
Oh,
you can
you're
still use the. This is the Bowl
professional.
Gouge, 3/8 Bowl Gouge. You can still use the Bowl Gouge on this
Shut
bit,
it,
but
Mark.
you probably won't be able to get right in. So, but you can still use the Bowl Gouge to trim this away. Until we get to the funnel stage, and then I use a spindle gouge. Then
You can use anything then.
you can use anything. Then you can use a Forstner bit. Then. And that's as far as we can go with that before our wing starts hitting the tailstock. So now we change to my 3/8 spindle gouge. I'll just nibble away at that.
Boys asked, what's a vacuum chuck?
It's a chuck, Roy. That it sits here like your ordinary chuck. It's a rubber cone basically, and from the end of the tailstock, headstock, is a tube that bolts onto it, which sucks air from a vacuum, which comes up through the face, and then the plastic, the rubber hits the inner side of the bowl and draws it in,
Sucks it on.
and keeps it there, sucked on.
Joe Garofalo has joined us. Good afternoon.
Hiya, Joe.
Hi,
Hello,
Joe.
Joe. Well, I'm not going to go too much further. I'm not going to do a, what do they call it? I'm going to stop there and chop it off. Wind that back. I should get my skew chisel over there where I left it. Find somewhere to put it on the lathe bed, I expect. Remove all the tools from the lathe bed, Who does that? Who puts chisels on lathe beds? Anybody we know?
Oh, yeah, that would be me.
I never do,
Guilty.
apart from sometimes.
Steve Jones,
I never
Yeah.
do.
Colwyn Way, Les Thorne.
It's a
Oh,
bad
no.
habit, but we all do it. at some
Does
point.
Brian? I don't think.
Brian's the only one who has problems with it.
Yeah.
I'll
No,
tell
I
you
have
what I
problems
found.
with it. I still do it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got fed up with mine rolling off, so I just made a little tray,
Yeah.
with 6 half rounds in it, both ends.
Mhm.
Just stick them on there.
Douglas says, Terry, but union graduates don't have a hole through the headstock. Yeah,
Okay,
Dave,
so guess you can't use a
Douglas,
vacuum truck.
you can't use a vacuum truck then.
Well, you can drill a hole through it.
You could drill one through, Douglas, surely. Well, there we are, team. That's
That's
well,
lovely.
that's not. I didn't make just the bow for making a bow's sake. I did it as I'll sand this up in a minute, but it was done really to show you how to use, how I use, not how to use. I'm not going to tell you how to use it. I'm going to show you how I do it. How you can get some decent cuts from a bowl gouge.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
That's not far off my completed series now. I've just got scrapers to go, which I suppose none of you need to know how that works. Do you? Hands up. Anybody
not
wants to
really.
see how to use a scraper? I don't particularly. But,
Bigfoot Resin and Wood Creations and Wood Turnings by Barry have joined us.
hello, Barry,
Good afternoon,
David.
David
Hiya.
and Barry.
Oh,
Hiya,
yeah.
guys.
Okay, sits on chair, climbs up on ladder, presses that button, says hello, back again.
Shows badge.
There we are. One shows badge. Now that I got a bowl for my badge.
It's a badge bowl. It's a badge bowl.
It's a badge bowl. That's just actually that was the outcome of showing you how to use a bowl gouge, which I hopefully gave you a few pointers if you were a bit worried about using such a gouge, or you knew how to use it but you weren't sure how to do it, or how big a cut you should take. Be firm with it. Don't tinker around. Move your hands, move your body, get your angle you want, as I've shown you now. Get the angle in, and then make a firm cut.
Drive through the cut.
Drive through the cut, but go the speed of the lathe. The lathe's going 1,000 revolutions a minute. Rate of travel should be compensatory to that, and you'll see that as the shavings come off. If you're just getting dust every now and again, you're going too slow. If you're getting chunks and the bowl is trying to jump off the lathe, you're going too fast, and you'll get it. Just remember to slow down as you get to the center of the bowl, because it's not going so fast on the outside as the outside is, which will obviously your rate of travel has to slow down. Okay, I hope that was okay for you.
Colin has said, when are you going to do the carbides?
Good point, Colin. I'll just look around my workshop. I'll pull out all the car. Actually, I've got them all hanging up here. The carbides I use. Here we go. Pull up all the carbides. Hang on. There's so many. I've got a big pack of them here. There's my carbides. Unfortunately, that's the only carbide I got. It is a magic tool. It doesn't scrape like carbides. It's a cutting tool on the end, but it is made of carbide steel. So, yeah, I use that for hollowing. Failing that, I won't be able to give you a demonstration or how I use carbides because I don't, Colin. Sorry. However, Colin Wade's doing his tool, what's the name, later on, isn't he? I think he started at 3. Don't know if it's today. I don't know what he's doing today. But he said this year, early part of this year, I think he said, he was doing a tools section. So he'll probably be 10 times as good as I am at letting you know, because he is a professional and has done it for in and out donkey's years, continuously, all his life. All his adult life, anyway. He'll probably do better at that, but I don't know that he's going to show you how to use carbides. No doubt he does at some point. For all to show how to use it, and perhaps we'll all learn something from that. However, until then, of course, you're stuck with people like me who don't use them.
And us.
So there they are, the veritable songstress, Joanne, Michelle of the Voltages. He's still here.
Voltages.
Marcus of the Gentleman Woodturner, and of course, Twisted Pete of the Trees. Thanks for joining me today, Peter. Those you lot, and thanks for my earworms. Look forward to seeing you next time. Until
Monday.
then,
You back on Monday?
Yeah. I can't remember what time I fly out. Yeah, I think I'm back Monday. I don't think I'm flying out on Monday. No,
these jet setters.
Okay. Probably see you Monday. If those are still interested, please come and join us. Until then, don't forget, get your shirt. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Cheers,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks
Cheers.
again.
Bye.